podcast HARK&MOVE. You're welcome to our second part of educational system in Turkey. As you remember, in the first part, I was speaking with my co-host Naila, and we were discussing about the educational system in Turkey, how to study, how to move, how to live in Turkey. And today, you're welcome to our second part of this episode. And this episode will be really unique because of my amazing co-host. It's Selenay. Firstly, she was born in Turkey and she had been studying in Turkey for her whole life. She was studying at school, which is at the 10th place of the rank schools in Ankara. And even in high school, she participated in Erasmus Plus program and she moved to Bulgaria and studied there. Right now, she's graduating from Bilkent University. Of course, you remember about this university because you listened to our first part when I tell my experience and Naila was sharing with us her experience. So right now, Serena is studying in Bilkent in international relationships faculty. But last year, she participated again in Erasmus Plus program and she lived in Poland. She was studying in Szczecin University, which is a public university in Szczecin, Western Poland. It's the biggest university in West Pomerania, which is a province in Poland, with 33,000 students and a staff of nearly 1,200. So this episode will be really unique because we will try to compare and contrast two different educational systems, the Turkish one and the educational system in Poland, with its own culture, traditions, principles, and rules. So I think this episode will be really amazing. And firstly, I want to introduce my really amazing friend and co-host, Selenay. Hey, how is it going?
Hey Anna, I'm okay. And how are you?
Everything is perfect. I'm really happy that you decided to take part in our episode and to share with us your experience because you were an Erasmus student in Poland. So, firstly, I want to ask you about your experience, like about the European
Ah,
and Turkish approach of learning.
sure, I will answer that. But firstly, I need to say that I am so glad that you invited me to here. And I love speaking about this stuffs because I know that lots of people are like searching about exchange projects, studying in other countries in abroad, and this is kind of the social trend right now. Like everybody is trying to move somewhere else because the new generation is just don't want to stay one place and experience the everything in that world. That's why this podcast is so useful for them. So thanks you for that. Mm, about the question. Uh, you already told that I was in Poland and I am a Bilkent University student in International Relations faculty. Uh, for 5 years, actually, 1 year for prep school for English because whole our education is in English. Um, I was always actually in love with Bilkent University because the teachers, the system is everything is so student friendly. I mean, academic friendly. They're trying to give you as much as knowledge and as much as experience they can do, and that's why I love these things. But of course, like there are some minuses. I will mention about them later. Uh, but about my Poland experience in Erasmus, it was amazing because how can I say? I love changing the things and I love experiencing the new things. Maybe academically, it's like, as everybody knows, Erasmus is not something that so academically targeted or like it's not so important to study a lot during the Erasmus. It's only about, not only about, but it's mostly about getting experiences, gaining experiences, knowing other people, meeting with other cultures, and like have some self-esteem about yourself because you can do things by yourself alone. You can travel alone, manage your money alone, and do everything by yourself. That's why it was very helpful. About academically, I need to tell that maybe because I am a student in Turkey, and especially in Bilkent University, it was not so harsh during the Erasmus because the Turkish system is very difficult compared to Polish system, as I observed. I mean, in Turkey, we are studying with lots of pressure, and the logic in here is pressure is okay. Like pressure makes you know better, get better education. But in Poland, as I realized, it's focused on more social time, the students' personal areas, personal social times. That means it was not so difficult for me. But of course, it can be also because of I am an Erasmus student. Maybe teachers just did not want to push me or put pressure on my shoulders. It's also possible. But as I understand, it's a little bit easier, but not in a bad way, in a good way, because they're giving the chance to students to get know themselves, like what they want to do in their social life, what they want to be. But in Turkey, like you are always studying. There is no other option. You have to study or your life will be miserable. There is no other chance. And is it okay for this answer?
Yeah,
Am
it's
I going
yeah.
well?
Oh yeah, of course, it's really amazing. But I want to mention one element, like you're speaking about the differences in Turkish educational system and the Polish one. Like, did you experience it a lot? I mean, did you feel when you moved to Poland, did you feel this difference between these two educational systems?
Of course I did, honey. I can't say that. Mm, just comparing, but not in a bad way. In both ways, I like gained some things, like some values to myself. But as I saw and as I understand, our education systems are based on different logics. For them, for Poland, and in general, the European Union, I'm mentioning about on European Union because I can observe that. I could observe that with my friends in Erasmus. They are mostly based on students' free time. I mean, they're giving the chance students to have social times and giving the homeworks, exams according to their mental health. How can I say that? I don't know, but they are caring about the mental health of the students. They're not putting so much pressure on their shoulders. They are giving them doable tasks, and like they're trying to have brainstorms and just create self-esteem between the students. But in Turkey, it's mostly uh, work hard, play hard. Like you have to do the things, you have to manage the deadlines, and so many of them. You have to be in the class, participate. You must participate. It's not so bad actually. I already got used to it, and the relaxed system is not so much for me because I know that I can work better with pressure. For example, 2 years ago, I guess, I was getting philosophy classes 1.5 years ago, maybe during the COVID time. And it's 8 hour class for a week, and it's not even my major. And they were two teachers lecturing in that class. And every week I was giving a essay like 2,000 word or 3,000 word long about, for example, Plato, Aristotle, etc. And like this is keep going every week. And sometimes I was thinking that, is it really philosophy? Like they need to encourage me to think, but I am always writing about the things, yeah, reading and writing essays. Yes, but it's not encouraging me to think. Yeah, I am only learning about the history of it, maybe, and what they were thinking, but it's not making you to think generally. It's only making you memorize the thing, learning the stuffs about history and their ideas, but not having any brainstorm or any new ideas. Of course, it's difficult. Like we are, of course, not philosophy people, but I mean, we are focused on much more memorizing and knowing the stuffs, but not thinking in Turkey. Yeah, this is the general problem mostly. In Europe, I realized that they are pushing students to have more ideas, more new stuffs with their own imagination and creation. That's the main difference, I guess.
Okay, I got it. I just will explain why I asked this question, because I was comparing our educational system in Russia with the Turkish one, as I was an exchange student last semester and I will be the next semester too. And I want to say that I just follow this rule too. I mean, while I'm studying in my university, I always think about the fact that I'm not thinking general. I'm just reading and memorizing a huge amount of stuff every day, and I need to learn it by heart, like literally. And every lesson, every course, I need to not only explain this material, but like literally say it by heart, word by word. Especially as I'm a law student, I need to learn a huge amount of legal terms, how it's written in codes and laws, and etc. But even comparing with the Turkish system, I can say that our educational system is much more conservative in that way. If you think that your system is based on memorizing and every time learning a huge amount of stuff, I think our educational system is much more deeper in this aspect. So that's why I'm really kind of curious about the European one system, because I think it's literally super different from the Russian one, and I hope that I will have this experience. I'm looking forward this Erasmus Plus programs, and especially taking a master degree somewhere in Europe, because I really want to feel this difference. But as you're a continuing student in Turkish University in Bilkent, I have one important question that I think a huge amount of students may ask you. If you choose Turkey for your bachelor, maybe master degree, it doesn't matter, what you need to be prepared for? Maybe some rules, some life hacks, or maybe some things that you will tell yourself while you applying for Turkish University. Just what kind of elements you need to be prepared for?
Actually, it can change according to Turkish universities. Like probably also you were in the Turkey and probably you observed. Of course, there are top ranked universities and like some kind of how can I say? In last decades, we can say that in every city there are lots of universities. Like, yeah, of course they are giving education. I am not telling that they are bad or good, nothing. But of course there are top ranked universities and like less there at the end of the list ones. But we were in the Bilkent, as you know, and we are one of the top ranked university. And I am mentioning about my university right now. If somebody is thinking to come here, thinking about coming here or get a master or bachelor, they have to be ready for the, first of all, competition, I guess.
Selenay, give us 3 life hacks to survive in a Turkish university and maybe in Turkey in general. But before you will answer this question, I will mention some really important aspects from my experience. It's kind of additional one, but no, for me it was important. Firstly, if you are kind of addicted to online payments, you're addicted to Apple Pay, Google Pay, and you're always using your credit cards, kind of forget about that when you're moving to Turkey, okay? Because I'm living in Ankara since January, and I will live until next January as well. I'm a person from Moscow. we're paying in our subway with the biometric face, and so when I moved to Turkey, I was kind of shocked in this aspect, because I remember my first experience in underground. I just went to it and I realized that I cannot even pay with my credit card. So you anyway need to have cash every time. And the same with taxis. In some taxis you can pay with credit card, but in general situations only with cash. So this aspect is really important for me. So maybe it's important for some audience, I don't know, but I really want to share it with you. This is my life hack. When you're moving to Turkey, just be prepared that you anyway need to have cash. If you just go for a walk, just take with you some cash, because it will be necessary. I swear to God. So, and right now, Selenay will share her experience and give us some really important life hacks we need to remember. Selenay, let's do it.
The thing you're saying is totally perfect example of the problem. And maybe not in underground, because you can have a metro card and you can pay it via application, but it's a little bit complicated process, and like sometimes it's not working. The application is bad and like process is bad, but they can make it better. But about taxis, it's a big problem, because I am having that difficulty too. But I can't believe that. Probably once, one taxi driver told me that if you are having a drunk customer, they can't remember the card numbers, their PIN code. So this is a problem for them, like in the midnight drives. Probably they don't want to switch it because that. Just maybe it's just was an excuse. I have no idea. But it's also, it's we don't have any Uber, or like in Poland, it's Bolt, like it's so general. We don't have them. It's just a regular taxi. It's not so student friendly. I mean, not so cheap. Not little bit, highly, highly expensive. But still, we're living here. What can I say sometimes? And what you have to be doing while living in here and make it easier, especially in the academy. First of all, I love keep in touch with the professors. I mean, keep in touch with the professor. By the way, the taxi thing, and this is totally different topics, but I want to mention about the academy. But living about Turkey, lots of tricks are needed. But about academy, being in touch with the professor is working and helping a lot for you. About, how can I say? For example, I was keeping in touch with one of my teacher. She was studying lecturing in international law and international organizations, and like our communication was good. And I asked her, can I help you about something, a project you are working on currently? And she offered me undergraduate assistancy. So I worked for 5 months with her for a big project, and it helped me a lot about my career, my understanding and research abilities. It was perfect for me. So the chances are highly much more bigger if you have better connections with the teachers, and they can help you to navigate your future, because they are much more experienced than us. They know which scholarships are better, which countries to have a master is much more beneficial. They know these stuffs. And the second thing is, attending the classes is so important. I mean, sometimes for some lectures, I'm falling asleep and can't go. The problem, if you miss the class for lots of times, you are losing the lectures. I mean, you are losing the topics and everything. because generally the teachers are mentioning about the exam questions, and not directly, but you can understand what is important for her or him during the class, and you can assume that they are going to ask that question because they are highly highlighting this point. And the second thing, also this is following the third thing, this is also following the second thing. Taking notes are important because right before the exam, the books are kind of mixing things up. If you did not work during the whole semester, I mean, if you work properly and scheduled, planned, no problem. But if you're trying to learn everything right before the exam, it will be mixing things up, and your notes and lecture notes will help you a lot. That's the things that's gonna work for people if they will come here.
Yeah, I can say the same and agree with you in the aspect of the student-oriented tutors. Like when I was studying in Bilkent, the first thing I mentioned, of course, I just need to mention that maybe it's my experience and not the all tutors are the same, but I just want to mention about the tutors I had in my experience. They were super student-oriented. Like they really understand you, and if you have some questions, if you need some help, you're super happy and you're welcome, like to help you in all aspects. I can even say more that right now I'm preparing for applying for a master degree, and of course I need some letters of reference. And one of the tutors from Bilkent, she was a tutor of one of my courses, concepts of law. It was taught in English. She was super happy to help me in the aspect of writing a letter of reference. And when I saw this letter of reference, Selenay, I was super shocked. Like to literally, we just like we know each other since January. We just saw each other in one course. Of course, I was super active because I was interested in this course. I participated in different discussions, presentations, like etc. stuff. But when I saw this letter of reference and when I saw how she's describing me, how she's writing about me, I really feel like the aspect that this tutor is super student oriented and she's really interested to help you, to give you the best, even after the course is ended. And sometimes I really need the same in our universities. I will mention it again that it's not the same with everybody, and in every university, sometimes it's the same in the aspect that some tutors are student oriented, some are not the same. But I can say that maybe because of the aspect that in my university and in the Russian ones universities, the majority of tutors, they are more scientifically involved and they are more interested in their development of themselves. Like I'm speaking about this aspect. They don't want to lose their time speaking a huge amount of time with the students or helping with the scientific researchers or maybe with letters of references, because they're super tight with their work, because they every time tutoring their course, then they're scientifically involved, and maybe then they're going to their other work, because in my university a huge amount of tutors, this work in university is a part-time job for them, because in the majority of aspects they're working in their specific companies, because they're practical oriented ones, like they're lawyers, they're like they have another full-time job. So maybe this is the reason, but I'm not sure. But in Bilkent, I really love this aspect, and for me it was really amazing, because when a tutor is a student oriented, it really helps you to feel much cozy in the course.
Yeah, you're feeling like they're caring about you a lot. Even 2 years ago, I was not even close to graduation. I just asked, like, I was applying to something. I just asked one of my professors. I know him because I took 2 lectures from him, 2 courses. I mean, 2 semesters. Uh, uh, just recommendation letter, and he gave me lots of pages recommendation. Like he described me a lot, and like I was so glad and honored to feel like that and like to be cared. They're kind of acting and like family, not family, but they know what you are feeling right now as a student because the future is uncertain. And they are trying to make us feel comfortable and sure, like self-esteem. And they are giving you a chance to be yourself. But how can I say? Um, they, I guess they remember how they were feeling when they were young. So they're giving you chance to, uh, how can I say, show yourself. And they're being with you. They're supporting you. It's kind of perfect.
Yeah, it's really amazing because I really like this feeling, when you're under not someone protection, but when someone which is more experienced, which is much as like smarter in this aspect in this field, he or she. They're looking after you and they really see how you're developing in this field
You're
step
feeling
by
safe.
step. Well, yeah. And I really like this feeling because when this person sees my development of myself and this person sees how every time I'm growing, not only in the physical, but maybe in the moral, in the scientific, in every one of aspects, it really helps you to feel much better. And I really feel much more motivated in this aspect. So we were speaking like literally a huge amount of time about some life hacks, how to survive in Turkey. So it's time to speak about some pluses and some minuses in the Turkish educational system. So maybe you can say, according to your experience, some really nice advantages and disadvantages of studying process, not only in Bilkent, like in the Turkish university, but in Turkey as in a state as well.
Which one I should start with? I don't know. Mine's the
I think let's start with minuses and then we will just make the situation better with pluses.
first bad news then. Okay. First of all, I am starting with the negative ones. I'm not sure if I have to tell it, if I should tell it, I don't know, but I experienced it and I am certainly sure about that. Our bachelor degree is not almost, actually, certainly equal to a master degree in Europe about the education level. Because in Turkish system, they are giving you much more knowledge than they are given to the European students. I mean, yeah, maybe it's bad to giving everything in once or in just 4 years. By the way, the Turkish system is 4 years of bachelor degree, 2 years of a master. In Europe, I know that 3 years of bachelor, yeah, it's a little bit different. But for bachelor, they're giving you lots of things and you are full of information, full of knowledge. And it's certainly maybe equal to master degree, end of the master degree at European University, or maybe a little bit more than that. But it's discussable. Like, I don't know if it's a good thing, giving the students everything at once, or like giving them in a huge amount of time. Maybe it's for them, it can be bad, but for me, it's working a lot because I love being intellectual and educated and have the knowledge about everything. And generally, I'm dominating the conversations with my friend, not dominating, but I have ideas about everything in the world. And I am happy about that, like, because I'm following it. My knowledge is already enough because they give me everything. They gave me everything or trying to give me everything. That's the plus for me. That's the positive thing for me, but it's questionable. Maybe it's not a good thing psychologically or scientifically. Maybe we need to acquire less than that for this amount of time. I don't know.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but I will add from this aspect because I fully agree with you. I see in this aspect only the plus because for me it's really kind of motivation, maybe. I mean, I'm really I have a passion to learn everything. I really needed the information every day. Like, you know, when I'm like a coach potato in a day and when I'm not checking some info or I'm not studying, but like, you know, when I'm not reading some stuff that can maybe help me or maybe make me more open-minded or wild-minded or something like this, I feel much worse, really much worse. So for me, it's a really kind of necessary element. But maybe for people who are more interested, like, you know, in a future, in a long process, for them, the European system is much better because I know a huge amount of students who are not agree with us because the Russian educational system, again, is kind of closer with Turkish one from this aspect because, as I told you, we have a huge amount of stuff to learn and to read every day on different faculties, not only in the law faculty or international relationships faculty, but every time we need to learn and treat a huge amount of stuff. And this is because of the aspect that every time we have specific seminars when we're discussing something, and you need to know this, otherwise you will not answer, you will not be involved in this discussing process. While in the European system of education, there is much more independent study, not like I was speaking with one girl. She's a student at one of the best universities at the Netherlands, and she told me this aspect. Like they learn how to study independently. They learn how to do it. So this is much more on your responsibility, not on the university one. Of course, in the Russian one and in the Turkish ones, you have your own responsibility when you're studying, when you're learning, but sometimes you do it not only for yourself, but because you know that in this course, on the specific lectures or seminars, you will need to answer all the questions, you will need to write the essay, or maybe just because of the feeling that you want to discuss this with a tutor, or maybe you just want to be the best in the class. So this it works differ for everyone, but this is the aspect that makes all these educational systems different, like especially the Polish, the Russian, and the Turkish ones. Like in European one, it's much more independent because the students, they study much more at home in the libraries, searching and absorbing something, while we do it much more for the courses, for the seminars, for the exams, because we really need to do it, otherwise we'll not have even an opportunity to take the exam because we will lose our points. And speaking about the bachelor and master's degree, yeah, you're right in the aspect that sometimes I really feel the same because I was searching for master's degree somewhere in Europe. It's not a secret. I will apply for them, and I saw that sometimes on a master's degree they have the same courses that I have in my university right now. Like I'm graduating and I will have a bachelor degree in law field, and this is because of the aspect that sometimes they have a bachelor's degree which is the prolongation, which is not longer than 3 years. Like we have 4 years, and it's in general, while they have 3 years. And the master's degree sometimes, for example, in Serbia, definitely know this. That in Serbia, it's super popular. The master's degree are not 2 years; they are 1 year, and in some other European countries too. While in Russia, we have even specific degrees. They're called long first degree or specialist degree. It's 5 years, but after this degree you will not have a special need to take a master degree because this specialist degree, it's a bachelor plus master degree at one time, but it's 5 years. So it all depends on the faculty because, for example, in my university, it's a full law university. We have just different faculties dedicated to different fields. So in law field, for example, I'm an international student and my bachelor degree is 4 years, while we have I'm not sure. Maybe I think it's the prosecutors faculty. They have 5 years bachelor degree, but I'm not sure. So we have both of them, and we have master's programs. So it all depends on the university and on the system. But it's really the reason why these systems are different ones. So we are getting closer to the end of our episode, and this question is much for me, not for our audience, but I think they will be interested in this aspect too. Selenay, if not Turkey, where would you like to study? Of course, I know that you're kind of obsessed with Europe and you really like France and Germany, but anyway, right now you're studying Turkey. But if you just have a chance, where would you like to study? And are these reasons while you choose this country because of all these aspects you don't have in Turkish universities, or why?
First of all, of course, like as you know, I am planning to go for master for somewhere. I will apply to Europe, and I'm not certain about the country, but it's will mostly up to scholarship and academic standing, whatever. I will be looking at them, especially for this semester because I'm graduating at January, and mostly the application process in the spring semester. We will see what's everything is going. But if not Turkey, and I'm in Turkey because kind of making bachelor degree in Europe is much more costly, but master degree you can have scholarship, and in doctoral study too you can have scholarship. But if not Turkey, I will be not certainly, but I will be in France or Germany, or although I hate cold weather, I will be in the Nordic countries. I'm telling why France, because my plan is to be in the United Nations or one branch of it, UNICEF, UNESCO, or a big international organization, some place that I can reach people and be social and be international. I am totally a person that's perfectly fitting to my department. It was perfect choice. But why France? Because generally, if we're thinking that United Nations and other international organizations are mostly based on France, or like, how can I say, not main, it will be insulting, but like old European countries like France, Germany, and I forgot the names, whatever. And the main languages of these organizations are, of course, English, and the second of all is French. And I want to be in France for 2 years to learn French and observe everything about the international organizations, get education about that over there, because they have the base of the system over there. And of course, I have, obsession about, not obsession, but I love the language and like literature of the French. So that's why maybe I am attracted to it. And about Germany, and I'm feeling that Germany is giving kind of a very accredited and good education. That's why. And about Nordic countries, probably you also hear that Finland, students of Finland are so happy. They're so free. They are doing perfect things because they have free areas for them, or like they're so self-esteem, so successful because of the Finland education, Nordic education system. And I am wondering what is that and how it's working actually. That's why I want to observe that. So that's it.
Yeah, again, I will fully agree with you about the northern system because my dream is to study in Norway, like literally. But I know that it's super expensive country, like super expensive country. And
Unfortunately.
yeah, maalesef, and I don't have right now an opportunity to live there. But maybe studying in Europe and taking a master degree there, I will have an opportunity to apply for Erasmus program and then to study for 1 semester in Norway. It will be really amazing. But yeah, speaking about Finland, I know I have some friends of mine who are studying in Finland, and they always say about the aspect that the educational system is super different. It's super different even from the other European states systems. Yeah, I fully agree from this aspect. So it was my last ad for your answers. I'm really happy that you enjoy this episode and you decided to share with us your
I
experience.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah, literally thank you because you're amazing in the aspect of your experience because you were studying in Bulgaria and in Poland, and right now you're studying in Bilkent, which is one of the best universities in Turkey. And I know that it's kind of hard to study in Turkey, and you're right now combining not only studying at the last semester, you're graduating, but you're working at the same time. It's really super like you're an example for me, and I'm impressed by you. So thank you for this podcast. I think our audience will enjoy it too, literally.
Thank you for your interest and your cuteness about that. And I'm so glad if this podcast will be useful for people thinking to get education at abroad. Of course, they may not be choosing the Turkey, but they have some ideas about it. I'm glad that it's very helpful.
Yeah, I can fully say that right now stereotypes about Turkey are going away because when I was moving to Turkey, maybe like at the start of December, my friends always told me like, "Aren't you afraid?" and blah blah blah, and like one of yeah, literally because sometimes they some people have these stereotypes about the
House, this
security, about the lifestyle, about the life conditions, especially when you're living in Moscow, which is super popular for its life conditions in all aspects. But one of my aims to move to Turkey and to study in Turkey was to show that these stereotypes are the stereotypes, and it's not the trustworthy information. It doesn't look like this in the reality. And right now, making this project with my friend Victoria, which was she was studying in Germany for 1 semester. She was living in Frankfurt and studying in one of the super popular universities in Germany. So our aim is to show that sometimes stereotypes are really stereotypes, and
Yeah, yeah.
you don't need to
Can
be.
I add? Can I
Yeah,
add
yeah,
something?
for sure, for sure.
For example, yeah, image of Turkey is not so shining. We are certainly know that. Of course, there are problems. I hate those problems, political and everything, like conservative people. But like every country have that situations. Like we are waiting to be in European Union, but it's not seems to be likely. But uh, actually, we are not so different. They need to observe that. Like sometimes, especially while I'm traveling, I realize that, for example, Paris is much more dangerous. About like not everywhere, of course, but it's not a stereotype. But a big part of the Turkey is like safe, and it's possible to have bad side of the country and the good sides of the country. It's possible, like, and I am feeling safe, and we were living in Bilkent, and it's kind of mini Europe or like mini United States, as you know, so free, so natural, everything is like possible. So I'm feeling safe. But of course, the problems, political problems, conservative people, of course, they are making me sad about the situation. But it's you also traveled in here. Probably you did not felt so endangered or like, yeah, it's not giving any problem for me. Maybe, yeah, in some places, but yeah, I have hope about if they can be solved, this problem can be solved.
Yeah, I think it's amazing time for end our episode because the last episode and like every time I told people that in Ankara I feel much safer and much better than in Moscow from this aspect because every time when I'm going even during the evening time, like after 6 p.m. I'm super insecure about this time and the place where I'm going. So these stereotypes sometimes are made to be gone away for one day and to be more open-minded. If you think that stereotypes are real ones, you're not ready to understand this aspect right now. So maybe time will come and you will understand. So this is my idea, and that's why these podcasts are made to show that these stereotypes are really stereotypes. You don't need to know this for sure that they're not the same in every state or it works the same in every country. So just trust it that sometimes it doesn't work the same as you hear in the news or from your friends or from the TV, the internet, and this etc. stuff. So thank you. It was a really amazing time with you. Bye.
Yes, Sunny, it was super perfect. Bye, see you.
So it was our episode with Selenay about the educational process and studying process, not only in Turkey, but in Russia and Poland at the same time. I really like this episode because we compared and contrast a huge amount of things at the same time. So this is how I see the education in the up-to-date world, when you have a huge amount of experience and you can describe it, you can discuss it and compare it every time. You're not close-minded in one system. Or in one state or university at the same time. So for me, it was an honor to speak with Selenay today and to know her, as a person, as a friend, as a scientist. It's really amazing person with amazing experience. So keep in touch and listen to our new episodes of podcast. Next week, we prepare something very unique again for you. So just be up to date, be open-minded, and listen to our podcast HARK&MOVE, because we do it everything only for you and just to show you that nothing is so danger that you can imagine in your head, that everything can happen. You just need to be open-minded for this. So everything can happen. Just be prepared, looking forward, and you can do it. Just have the aim, see it. So bye-bye, keep in touch.